Hello and welcome. We are going to go over how to use the Google Analytics connector in Domo. Now, while there is documentation on how to use it, and there are some very quick videos, I'm going to go really in depth of how I use it, show you some things that I've learned from using this connector. Let's get into it. Now, if you don't know how to get there, we are going to hit data at the top right here. Boom, and make sure that this also data icon, the one that looks like three cookies stacked on top of each other, is also selected. And we're going to click this cloud icon, connectors. Now here, I'm going to type in Google Analytics. And I'm going to pick this one, the one that is preferred. Okay, nothing else, just this one. Now, if you are not connected already, all you have to do is go to add account, boom, and you can just select which Google account that you need to. Also, though, let's say that you have a uh, company-wide login that you use. I can hit this little key icon and I can share my Google Analytics account with whomever I want. So I can go to share, put in another Domo user, we're done, okay? But I'm going to assume that you have all that stuff and you're good to go. So let's go back to Google Analytics. And if you don't, that might be someone you need to ask who is on your team, what the login is. Okay. But what's cool about that is that there are no passwords being sent in if you share it, is that someone is using my credentials to log into Google Analytics, but they don't have to put my password email in a chat. Okay. I'm going to pick my account. Let's do this. So first of all, we're going to take a break and we're going to pause very quickly. Views. Views is something very important. What are we looking for? We're going to pick specific views. Now, why is I'm going to hit all of these little drop downs because if you have something very easy like mine, it's just all website data. That's what we're going to look for. If I had something called like Sandlot in there where we're testing things out, I don't want to select that because that might be data that I don't want to include in my analysis because maybe that's just fake stuff, right? So you don't want to say, give me everything by clicking this button at the top. You actually want to drill down all the way to the bottom and just pick the ones that you need. Maybe you have a website that has multiple names and you just want two or three of those. You don't, or maybe you have one that has multiple regions and you just want the US or Canada, whatever. You can pick which ones you want. So we're going to do that. Next report. I'm going to pick custom. I never use any of these out of the box ones because it doesn't give me what I really need to work. So I'm going to use custom. And what I'll do here is we have all of these types of groupings that we can choose from. Now, if you look on the left-hand side, we have these things called metrics and these things called dimensions. And if you look over here, any one of these that I pick, we have metrics and dimensions. You're allowed 10 metrics and 9 dimensions. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. If you don't know, you just don't know. A metric is a number that you can sum, meaning like impressions, clicks, revenue, blah, 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 right? A dimension is more of a label, such as a date, um, a landing page, a URL, an audience, something like that. So let's go do some of this together. I'm sorry. I'm going to go to channel grouping. This is one that I use quite frequently. I'm going to pick this dimension, default channel grouping. What that means is that's going to break everything down by email, paid search, organic search, direct, referral, whatever. That's how I'm going to break it down. No metric in there because it's just a label. I'm going to go down to e-commerce and I'm going to explain this a little bit more in depth. I have all these things in here like product pages, product details, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to pick any of those because if I mix and match that with the default channel grouping, it can kind of break because it's saying give me every product by channel by date or something. It's almost too much for Google Analytics to handle and it'll kind of crash. So what I'll do instead is I'll say, hey, you know what? I want to know by the channel. I just want to know the revenue, which is revenue GA, and the transactions, which is transactions GA. That tells me my revenue and my orders. Okay. So I'll pick that one and I won't select any of this. We'll go into how to do this one later. And then what I'll pick is I might say, give me sessions, give me bounces, session duration, and sessions. I will never, me personally, I will never pick average session duration or the bounce rate because that's math that's being done on Google Analytics side. And when I pull it, I want to do my own math. The reason is because that's a fixed number. So it would be wrong to add up a bunch of bounce rates or to find or to average this column that says bounce rate, because that's not how that works. That's not the same math as saying give me total bounces divided by total sessions. And if we have something dynamic where I want to know, hey, give me this data, find me the bounce rate by month, by quarter, by year, we have to do that math in the card, not taking a bounce rate and just summing or doing an average. That's wrong. So I won't pick those relative numbers. I'll just pick the absolute numbers. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to pick sessions. I'm also going to go down here and I'm going to pick users, and I'm going to pick new users and regular users. And I think that's good enough. Yeah, that's pretty good. And what I'll last do is I'll go to time. And here it's important. If I pick date, that breaks everything down at a daily level, which is kind of what I want sometimes. But I could also pick year, month. So why I pick year, month as opposed to month of the year. Month of the year and month, by the way, they give me the number of the month. So January is the first of the month, right? Or sorry, the first month of the year. Year month gives me 2022-01, something like that. Something where I have both the year and the month in there, and I could split it out and do that later using our ETL function, using the right uh, under text, using the right substring type of function. Right meaning RIGHT, not like the correct one, going from left to right. Anyway, I'll pick year, month, for instance. And that's good enough. This is a very basic one. And I'm going to say, give me a custom date range, 30 days, 90 days back, whatever one. I'll pick custom date range usually, and I'll say date range. And here, if I say specific and I say, give me from Jan 1, 2022 up until this time, sure, why not? This will always run between those two periods. But what if I just want this thing to run and I don't want to have to always go in every day and pick a new date? Well, I can pick relative. If I say relative 1, that means give me every day, give me this data at a daily level because we picked date from January 1st, 2022, all the way back to yesterday, every single time. But I don't like this method because if I were just to let this go for like 5 years, this data set will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that might be too many rows for me. So I'm going to say, give me a relative, and I will usually give me 730 days back, which is 2 years. Give me 2 years back to 1 day back, which means now my window is constantly shifting. And that way I'm not going over on rows. It's not just adding, but I constantly have 2 years back, which is I think good enough for me to see some analysis that I want to pick. Okay. Segments. If you're familiar with it, what a segment is in Google Analytics, you can set up a segment where you can say this audience, if you see this with this audience or state or whatever, go call it a segment. You can pick a segment here if you want to. And we have filters. Okay, filters is a little bit tricky. You see how they have this kind of grayed out text in here? I'm going to show you one that I wrote that I keep on me, and I just use it again and again and again. So I just pasted that in, and here's what the main thing you want is you want this dimension name and this expression. So if I go to dimension name here, I would change, for instance, if I look up here and I say channel grouping, this is called GA, channel capital G grouping. I would change my source from here to, instead of source medium, to be channel grouping. That's kind of why we need to see it. And then in here, my expression, I could say, okay, what do I want to look at? So I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to put in paid. I think it's like that, paid search, maybe like that. And or you know what? I'll do organic search. I think it's written like that, where it's organic, capital O space S, whatever. And that would basically filter this entire data set to only organic search. So that's the little code that you need, the formula. And I'll put it out so that you can just copy and paste what I wrote. But it's also the same exact thing. Let me get rid of this. It's also the same thing as right here. But now you just don't have to type each one of these things out individually. And I'm not going to put that in for now. I'm good. I'm going to hit next. And what I will do is I'll say, go run this every day at 6 a.m. The left-hand side is British time, UTC. I'm on Central time. So say, go run this every day at 6 a.m. Okay. And I'll hit next and naming convention. I'm a stickler for this. I am very big on naming conventions because it makes things much clearer where it's from. So I will do something like this. The source is Google Analytics. I won't call it GA. I'll say Google Analytics. I don't use shorthand. Pipe, and I'll call um, this one is channel performance, something like that. Okay. And I'll hit save and run. And now we're kicking off this job to work. Now, as that's going, bum, 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 I'm going to wait for it to execute. Beautiful. I'll tag it. And I think these tags are very important because they allow me to search for things later much faster. I'll go to Google Analytics. I'll put that tag in here. I might put a new tag if I need to, called channel, whatever. And for me, I make all my tags lowercase. I don't put anything upper and lower because Domo will see that as a new tag. If I were to put capital C and then lowercase HANNEL for channel, it would see it as a new tag. And I just don't want to have several versions of that. So I'll just make everything lowercase. Okay, while mine is running, let's go do it again. Let's go do it again. And I'm going to show you how we get some other stuff. I'm going to go to cloud, Google Analytics. Boom. I'm going to pick my account. Next. Wait for this view to show up. And I am going to pull in. Beautiful. I'm going to pull in all website data. Okay. I'm going to go back to custom. What if I want to know what products, and let's say Google Analytics is my source of truth, not Google Ads. We'll do Google Ads later, whatever, but Google Analytics is my source of truth. What I will pull in here, and I want to know my products, is I'll go back to e-commerce. Now, why I'm doing it in two different steps is because sometimes it's oil and water. They don't play well together. If I want to give me products by channel, by date, it's too much, right? It's going to break things down. So instead, I might go here and I might say, okay, give me the product's revenue. Give me the, let's also do the quantity. Sure, why not? Let's do the number of detailed views, clicks, checkouts, whatever. And now below is where I can say those are just numbers, right? Numbers that we just add in together. We have zero dimensions yet. So over here below, I'll say give me the product name, maybe the product category. Okay. And now I could do the same thing. I'm only going to do last 30 days, but I don't really use Google Analytics to. I don't really sell anything on my site that I'm using, so nothing will show up. But that's an example. I'm going to hit next. Every day, 6 a.m. Sure, why not? We're going to call this one source Google Analytics pipe, and we're going to call this product performance. Let me show you some really fun stuff though. So I've one how my channels are doing. I've one how my product's doing. I'm going to tag it again. Google Analytics. Yep, and that's fine with me. Oh, I should do another tag in here called product maybe. Product. Cool. All right. Let's see. There we go. For my channel one, I got already 100 rows. Pretty cool. So now I can see in here, show me the month of the year, which is, sorry, month and the year and the month. So 2021-09, it's just a comma there because think it's a number. The channel, the number of users, sessions, bounces, session duration, blah, 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 right? Transactions, revenue. Okay, so we have that going. We have product, which I will probably show nothing for. Let's do it again. And I'm gonna show you a really fun one. Google Analytics. This is now, what if I want to find out my audience? I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna select all website data. Custom. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to yeah, let's do channel grouping again. I don't mind. And let's go to, so if you have a product where you're mainly selling a tangible good, you probably want to use the e-commerce part up here where we can see transactions, quantity, whatever. If you're mainly doing kind of like leads, where you just need leads, you probably want something called goal conversions. And if you know what goal conversions are, that's like, are you trying to get somebody to fill out a form? And in Google Analytics, you would say that that's goal one, or 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. So here's where you can pick a goal conversion instead, and a goal value if you have one. I know, super nitpicky what I just said, but it's just for people who know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's do another one though. Let's do pages. What if I want to know, hey, pages, give me the entrance by the page. Yeah, we have our channel grouping in here. I'm sorry. Let's go back to page tracking. Beautiful. I want to know maybe the page title or the URL path to the page. I want to know the number of entrances, the number of exits, page views, time on the page. Sure, why not? And if you wanted to, you could do sources. Sources are like the medium, source medium. So that gives you more depth about, instead of just saying organic, it tells you, did it come from a blog or something like that? You could do that. Or social, great example. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it LinkedIn? Whatever. That's what we can do. But I'm going to do this one. I like geo a lot. Geo is really fun. I could say, give me the country, that the number of people that are coming from, or these groupings are coming from. Give me the metro area. Metro area would be something like Chicago, which is the area of Chicago. Or LA is a great one. LA County is the size of 11 states for the number of people that it has. So I could do that, right? Instead of just saying whatever, I could pick region, which is the state as well. And so now I have a breakdown. I have 4 metrics, 6 dimensions. We'll see if this works. This might be too much. I'll say, give me the last 30 days. Let's hit next. Let's see if this goes. Every day, 6 a.m. again. Boom. Let's do this again. Source, Google Analytics. And we're going to call this audience. Oops, audience. Save and run. We'll see if this one works for us. Tag. I'm going to do Google Analytics. Audience. Okay. While that's cooking, while that's being pulled in. Oh, something's happening already. Preparing. Perfect. 915 rows. Amazing. Wow, I got a lot of people from Algeria coming to my website. Okay, so check this out. We have all these pieces in here. And if I just want to see my data from Google Analytics, what do? I could type in Google Analytics because I happen to name it that way. We can also go to add filter. We can do type, which is Google Analytics. And now I only see the 3. I could also do tag, and I could do tag because I tagged it as Google Analytics. And look, I only tagged 2. I didn't tag the third one. So maybe I got to go back and do it. Let's go find my third one, which is maybe this one I didn't tag. Yeah, product. I didn't tag it as Google Analytics. So I'm kind of a stickler for that. And that's how to use the analytics connector. But we're not done yet. We got to make something with it. Who cares if we just did all this work, but nothing comes out? Let's do channel. So channel performance, watch this. If I go to open with, I'm going to move through this a little bit fast. If I go to analyzer right here, don't care about that one. I'm going to go to table. I always like to start off very fresh. I'm going to say no summary number. I'm going to just get rid of everything. I don't want to see any of this stuff. I'm going to just get rid of it. And let's start fresh. So I'm going to do this sessions by channel by month. Okay. So I'm going to go pull in a date first. What am I looking for? And I'm looking for. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, right. We called it month of year. Sure. That's fine with me. This is my year. A better way to say it is year, month. And I'm not going to put any commas because I don't want to see any commas. So let's take that comma out actually. Boom. Okay, we got that. We have our channel, which is here. And I just want you to see what I'm doing, right? And let's go pull in sessions. And give me the sum of sessions. Give me the session duration. Give me the sum of session durations. Why not? Let's get me users, the sum of users, and let's go get me new users and the sum of new users. So what I have right now is I have by the year and the month, the grouping channel, the sum of sessions, duration, users, new users. I'm actually going to get rid of this month of year one because I'll go put it in filter and I'll take it out of here because I don't really want to see it right now. And yeah, last run. Okay, that's fine with me. Whatever. Okay, so I have total session, session duration, users. Now what I can do too is I like to make my things a little bit spiffier. I'm going to go to header, fill color. I'm going to make that a dark blue. Sure. Why not? I'm going to go to total. I'm going to show a total row. I'm going to go to position, put that before. I know I'm moving fast. This is really, you can pause it and see, but I'm just showing you an example. That's kind of all we need to see. Session duration, I'm not going to put in decimals because it's all by seconds. So I don't care. And so I have this thing, and like, this is okay. It's not really helpful. It's just telling you a bunch of numbers, but is it insightful? I don't know. Is it getting your eyes to move fast? Definitely not. If I do heat map options and say color as heat map and pick a theme, I'm going to go with purple. And if I hit independent column range, it makes all the colors within the column darker for that number, not across the whole thing. So now what I can see is my eyes can move fast. I can say, okay, cool. Show me how am I doing by these different channels. I have direct, organic, referral, social. And this says, hey, by far, my organic search gives me a lot of sessions, a lot of session duration, a lot of users, a lot of new users, right? But let's do some math. Let's see if this actually is very good. I'm going to go to add calculated field and I'm going to put in average session duration. Now, remember how we could have picked that on the analytics connector, but I'm saying, no, let's not do that. Let's do the math in here because it's dynamic instead of a fixed number. I'm going to say, give me the sum of session duration divided by the sum of sessions. Okay. And what this math does is now it gives me the average session duration right here in this beast mode, or basically just this formula. So if I pop that sucker, boom, right there where it turns blue. Now I can say, let's put that as a number. Now I can say, hey, okay, organic search gives me a lot in sessions, gives me the average session, sorry, the total session duration is a lot, so that's really not something that's going to be useful. But my average session duration is 132 seconds. That's like a little bit more than 2 minutes. So organic search is not only bringing me the most people, but it's having people stay the longest on my website, which is very good news. I'm getting X amount of users, X amount of new users, right? And what I can also do is let's do this little math. Let's do new user percentage. So I'm going to say, give me the sum of new users divided by the sum of users. Oops, users. And I want to know the percentage. I want to know by how much. Now if I drag that sucker in and I put that guy and make this a percentage, and sure, let's put 2 decimal places. Oops, I'm sorry to do that. Now, there we go. So now I see organic search is giving me right here. And I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to make this easier. I'm going to put this in sorting, descending. Organic search at the top is giving me the most sessions, the most average duration, users, new users, but it's also giving me a good percentage of new users to total users. However, direct is giving me an even better percentage of new users to total users. So now I kind of in marketing, I can know which groups I want to give some more attention to and whatnot. And I'm also going to do this thing. I'm going to go to colors. I'm going to make my eyes move a little bit easier. Let's do channel grouping. Let's make organic search a light green for me. Let's make direct a light blue. Let's make, what else we got in here? We got social. I'm going to make you a dark blue. And referral, I'm going to make you, let's make it a purple. So now I can see even better what's going on. I'm going to save this. I could do it that way. And I have a table. Now we can format it to be bar charts, all the other junk later. Let's do another one though. One more, then I'm done. Let's go to this one, audience. This is a fun one. I'm going to go to open with, analyze. Cool. I'm going to go to table. I'm going to pick a country. And you see, I got a bunch of countries, and like, I really can't have people from Bulgaria going to my website. That must be from some bots and whatnot. Let's get rid of region for a second because I want to show you this. Okay, so this is every country. I'm gonna unselect, go to not in, not set. I don't want to see that one. But you can see here I got a bunch of entrances. Yeah, sure, why not? Entrances means of which page they're going on the first time. And or let's do page views. Maybe that's better than entrances. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna do page views, sum of page views by country. You can see I got a bunch of stuff here. This doesn't make any sense. I definitely don't have people from Argentina going to my website for Chicago School of Grappling. But if I go to map and if I pick world, there we go. So now what I can start seeing, I can pick a different theme. Let's stick to purple. Why not? Let's do diverging to, let's do midpoint values, the median. Again, just relax. I'm just showing you kind of what I have in here. And let's make this gray, midpoint range color. So here's what I'm doing. Sure, why not? What I just did is I just said, hey, around the world, where are my page views coming from? If it's in purple, it's above my median. If it's blue, it's the median number. If it's in gray, it's below. Getting a lot of people from the US coming to my site. I got quite a few people from the Russian Federation and China, which has to be bots. That cannot be true at all. But I have one view that I could do this as by country around the world. But is that really what I need? I'm going to go to save as and make a whole new copy of this. That way I can just keep my work. I'm going to hit the little beaker. And in country instead, I'm going to say in. I want to select a specific country. I'm going to go down to the United States, pick the US, and I'm going to change this map. I'm going to change this map to United States, get rid of country, and I'm going to put in region. There we go. Region, which is a state. Same exact thing. Now I can see, hey, where are most of my people coming from around the country? In purple is above the median, blue is right there. So I have some people from Maryland checking me out. And I got a bunch of people below my median, which is, yeah, why would anyone from Iowa checking out the Chicago School of Grappling, right? But anyway, you can see this. And if I were to do a little bit of something like this, value, text color, sure, whatever. Now I can see the total amount of page views coming from these different states. So anyway, check this out. What we just did is we went to Google Analytics. It can tell you a lot of powerful things. We went here and we picked on three. We brought in channel performance product, which I don't sell anything online like that. And I have this audience thing. So I can pull this in. And now what I did here is if I go to overview, we have some insights that we're gaining from Google Analytics. We say, hey, look, organic search is really doing an amazing job for us all over the world. I got people from all over checking me out. But really in the US, I know exactly where they're coming from. And if I wanted to ante this up even more and make it really cool, I can go from here, default channel grouping, and I could say, I only care about organic search. And now you could see a bunch of states come off the map. I'm only looking at, because that's probably a lot of referral and social stuff. But if I say organic search, meaning people are looking for me on a search engine like Google, where are they really coming from? And now I see a better view. So anyway, that's a very quick view of very quick tip and class and tricks on how to use the Google Analytics connector. If you want anything else, let me know and I'll try my best to make another video for it. But hopefully that helps you out. All right. Thanks.